that the Lord looks down upon. There are many people that don't like to talk about this sin, but the sin is very present throughout Israel, throughout many Israelite congregations, and also throughout many Christian organizations and congregations and so on and so forth. This is very, very, very present throughout the nation of Israel and Christianity, and is that sin of gluttony, of overindulging in food. Just, some, truth be told, some people just love to eat. Some people just love to eat. They can't control it. They, eating, if you listen to some people, and again, this is not an attack on people that may have a thyroid problem and they have a legitimate reason why they can't lose weight. Someone that, have some sort of, injury, they can't exercise. And so if you are a gluttonous person, right? And let's say, well, maybe, it's not causing you a problem with your health right now. If you do not change your lifestyles, if you do not change your eating habits, it will eventually cause you a health problem, and it would take years off of your lives. So again, this is a very controversial subject, but it must be discussed because all Israelite camps that I'm aware of, they ignore this topic. Christian churches don't discuss it, but someone has to discuss it. It has to be taught. And so the Lord is raising up the true disciples of Christ to teach the absolute truth. And you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. But what I've learned over the years, before the truth makes you free, the truth makes you mad. Many of you get mad. Some of you are mad with me right now for the fact that I'm just bringing up this topic, gluttony. Well, why you got to talk about that? You calling people fat. But what does the Lord say about this? What does the Lord say about this? Again, and if they don't suffer some sort of, and this is not making mockery of anyone, but if I offend you, I meant to. Because the Lord frowns upon that, and it is a sin. You often hear people talk about the sin of, being a homosexual, the sin of adultery, the sin of stealing. But why are they not talking about gluttony? People that love to overindulge in food just because they can. It's here in the scriptures, and we're going to cover that today. Does everyone understand what gluttony is? Is anyone on the call that don't understand what gluttony is? I guess your acquiescence
join the meeting
is affirmative.
Con. So just in case, gluttony means you're eating too much. You're overeating past the point of actually being fulfilled physically inside of your natural stomach. All right. So and I'm gonna be honest, this doesn't only apply to people that are overweight. This applies to people who are skinny as well, because you can be skinny and overeat and be unhealthy just the same.
Right.
Either way, whether you're skinny or whether you're overly fat, you're out of condition. So no matter if you're on the left side or the right side, it's all wrong.
Yeah, I call them skinny fat people.
Con.
Yeah, they're very skinny, but most of their body weight consists of fat.
Yep.
You got anything you want to say on that, good brother, Joshua Ford? I know you say you're health conscious also. You got anything you might want to add that might be able to help these gluttonous Israelites? So we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to call them out. When you look at the so-called home of the truth, under Private Yohana, that calls himself General Yohana, right? He said, if you're not at ISUPK, you're not in the truth. Now, I want you guys to think, was Hamashiach fat and overweight? No, he looked down on that, man. He looked down on that. Now, can you imagine your Lord and Savior, any leader? Well, what's one of the prerequisites of being a good leader in the military? You can't be a disgusting fat body. You have, because that requires discipline. A man that lets himself go, or a woman that lets herself go, that's a lack of discipline. That's a lack of discipline, man. That's what that is. To be fit, it requires discipline. So a man, and you see a lot of these generals, once they're old, they might be out of weight and all of that. But when you look at them in their younger years, they was pretty fat. But your intent should to try to be as fit as possible. Because I reiterate, even if your weight may not be affecting you now, if you're gluttonous, it will affect you later. And any doctor would tell you that. Any doctor, you're going to end up with diabetes. You're going to end up with some kind of heart disease, something, man. That weight, it's just not good. You're carrying around all this weight. You end up with back problems. You end up with knee problems, but you can't stop eating. Then your spouse, said, damn, what the hell happened to you? When I first met you, you was fit and so on and so forth. Then you get into bed, all you do is burp and fart all night. Nobody wants to be around someone like that. Hey, man, it's true, man. And no one wants to be around someone like that. And they just want to eat. They just want to sit down, eat, and eat. And again, we're not talking about people that has a legitimate issue, like a thyroid problem, and they're really trying to lose weight, and they're trying to discipline themselves. We're talking about people like you see in ISUPK, when you see these fat guys, standing, these gluttonous. I'm going to call them what they are, because the scripture call them gluttonous. And you men are not supposed to be ruling over men if you're gluttonous. And I want you to bring the scriptures to show me otherwise. You're not supposed to be ruling over men if you're gluttonous like that, man. The Lord's against that. And that is a sin. It's a sin. You know, it's a home of the truth. Yohana said he started under Hamashiach Yahushua. Who appointed him? Now, who's going to appoint a short, fat, stocky man over the nation of Israel that looked like a damn bowling ball with arms on it as a leader when you're not even disciplined? You understand what I'm saying? That's a lack of discipline, man. That's not no real soldier, man. Anyone that knows warfare, that's not a real soldier, man. Well, what is the theory in the military, Yashabam? A lean, mean fighting machine. They don't even want you to be heavy set because you can't move like that. You see what I'm saying?
Even if you have a bodybuilder's weight set, you still get discharged medically because you don't have your range of motion, and based on your body mass index, you can't properly perform your duties, point blank, period.
Con.
I was 5'7". I think I got up to 183, but I was all muscle. It was like, it got to go.
Yeah, it was too big. I'm 5'10", and when I got to 170, they started taping me, man.
Yep.
For body fat. They started taping me. But I always made the tape. You see what I'm saying? Because they want you lean, mean, fighting machine. Not a gluttonous Israelite that's calling himself next under Hamashiach Yahushua. When you can't even control your eating, you're giving men orders. And so this says something about the mindset of our people that go and get under someone like that. You see what I'm saying? This says a lot about our people, man. How are you going to be a leader when you're not even disciplined to take care of your body? And we're going to go into that, how the body is the temple of the Most High. So if you're a gluttonous man or woman and you abuse your body, and if this offends you, then I meant to. Again, unless you have some legitimate problem that justifies why you're overweight, it's your own fault. It's just a lack of discipline. So if you want to get mad with someone, what you should do is get mad with yourself. Now, I got a question, man. Why do these conservative Israelites like Yohana, I'm not going to call him, you've just been demoted to private. We're not even calling you general. You've just been demoted to private. How does conservative Israelites and Christians, they make a fuss about homosexuality, about lesbianism, not that it's not right, about adultery, not that they're not legitimate about lying, but when it comes to gluttony, everyone seems to get a free pass. Everyone seems to get a free pass. Most notably, if they are gluttonous like Johanna and that clique around him. So overeating, again, is very harmful. And it's addicting. It is addicting. And so this is why in the Bible, when you look up gluttony, it's often compared to drunkenness and laziness. So according to the Bible, Johanna, he must be lazy. You know, I don't know if he's a drunker. I haven't seen him drink anything like that. I don't be around him like that. But to sustain that body weight, you got to be putting something in it to keep you that size.
That's right.
You got to be putting something in it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you would just lose that weight. So something's wrong there. So, I mean, you got any pointers for these kind of people?
So you got.
I was actually going to the to the brother
Ford.
Joshua.
Ford.
What you got to say about someone like this? You got any kind of selling? No, but I'm asking you, brother, because me, you, and Yashabum, you know, we're vegans, and so you know our lifestyles are somewhat different. Do you have anything that you could actually suggest to people that legitimately want help?
Right.
You know, I'm not talking about people like, obviously Johanna and them, they don't want help, man. That's just an overeating problem, man.
Yeah, speaking of that, since we are pretty much vegans, you know, I'm glad you're really talking about this topic, because the fact, you know, it really speaks to me, because, you know, I actually used to overeat myself, and I still, before I even joined you guys, I still was in the habit of it. And I'm not fat, but like you said, you can still be skinny fat. And I'm shape, but I was tired of overeating, and then the next day trying to burn it off. That's overeating. Pushed myself. Sorry, I'm speaking too fast. But pushing myself to a limit to where it's like, what are you doing? You're overeating every day, and the next day you want to go burn it off. How about just eating right every day? Eating in an orderly fashion, portioning out your meals. And yeah, I realized, I was like, what am I doing? And I feel like this really speaks to me, and this was no mistake of having this topic brought out today.
And that requires discipline to do what you're doing also, good brother. I mean, all of us at some point, I mean, my weakness was junk food, you know what I mean? And particularly cookies, man. You know what I mean? I mean, man, that was time I would eat a whole damn, you laughing, Terrence, but I'm dead ass serious, man. I would eat a whole damn pack of family cookies, man. Just go running and burn it off. But what you got to be mindful of, if you're putting all that sugar in your system. And so one of the things that I grew to find out is that sugar, that causes like heart diseases and things that they don't even tell you about. They want you to believe that only fat causes that. But sugar causes that also, man. Sugar really causes that. So, I mean, it's a very, needed topic. But what was you going to say, Yashabun?
We're going to talk on the topic of the skinny fat. When you see folks that are thin, but they have a really big belly,
yeah,
you got chicken legs, you got dang on noodle arms, you got a really big belly. You know, those are folks that are on the opposite side of the spectrum. But the first step in actually receiving help is doing like Ock Ford was just stating, you gotta look at yourself. So if you ain't looking at yourself to be better, do better, you know, especially by the Most High, because you are carrying around his temple. You know what I'm saying? You are set apart, but if you defile the temple with non-set apart, non-holy type of food, you know, it's gonna eventually, you know, catch up to you if it hasn't already. All right. So I mean, for me, I was, you know, big on like cakes and milkshakes. Used to go to a fast food joint and get banana cream pie, you know, milkshakes, or I make my own cake.
Damn, you making me want one right now, man. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Please, man.
I used to put a big slice of cake in a blender with some Neapolitan ice cream and a half a can of Pepsi, one banana, and a couple of strawberries, and I, you know, kill it. So
that's a high right there, man. That give you.
Yeah, that's exactly what it did. Because naturally, what we do we relate, because eating food is enjoyable. You see what I'm saying? So for me, I knew I had to realize that I had an emotional attachment with my food, even though I was kind of fit. Like I was still, I was physically strong, but I had a double chin when I was like 27. When I went to one of my sisters, they had a graduation, went up to the mountains. They pulled out some pictures. They said, right now I look like someone's son. And they pulled out some pictures when I was 27. It was like, here you look like someone's, father. So I'm looking younger since, transition over to eating, holy and natural food. And it should be like that for everybody. Because when you think about Yahweh Shah, Mashiach Yahweh Shah, he rolled, and I use this example a lot, he rolled with men that were good at their craft, and they were, they were supposed to be, dangerous if you crossed them wrong. Henceforth, Peter, he took a sword. I'm not sure if you guys ever handled a sword, but it requires a lot of control inside of your shoulders and in your joints to cut somebody's ear off while looking them in the eye and still looking at them like, like what? You know how crazy that is to cut someone's ear off, even to cut a tip of it, so that lets you know, if you really think about it, the type of physical structure that, the kind of men that he recruited. He didn't get no baby or no soft men. Fishermen back in the day, they could swim, and they could swim hard. You see what I'm saying? And when they went out on these ships, they didn't have the motors. They did everything by hand. They grabbed the fish nets by hand. These are strong, ruddy men. You see what I'm saying? So we looking at his example, and for him to have to pull folks like that, you already know what kind of man he is. Because I tell you what, let some fat guy try to tell me about health and fitness, and and I'm performing, at a high level, I'm not going to listen to them. So just to put yourself in, and put it in the most basic terms, when Yahweh Shah went to go grab the apostles, he himself had to show himself to be a man as well, and had to show himself to be strong physically, because these guys already knew the Torah. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's something else that makes it a greater asset to the Most High when recovering the lost sheep. If you show yourself to be strong, so you can be extreme in one area. You might think, you real smart, you're real good with your words, or, you think you might be pretty, you might look good, you might be shining, you know what I'm saying? But you got to have a voice like a multitude of waters. You got to blow the trumpet when the time comes. If you got to run, you need to run. You got to pick up your seed, in an emergency situation, you got to do that. If a brother strikes you, out of anger, you got to be able to turn the other cheek. You got to be able to see past that man's emotion. If you're not being attacked, I'm not saying, of course you're going to defend yourself, but if someone, just strikes you, you got to be able to look past that. You know how much strength, intestinal fortitude that takes to look past the situation, to be able to deal with another man like that when you have every right to put him down. But that's what we're charged to do, to at least make the attempt. And it's funny, I was just talking to new brother, Williams, out of Wisconsin. He was, sharing some things with me, and I pointed him out to Titus 1, verse 3-8, and then you had 1 Timothy 3:3. Now let me pull that up, about the type of men that we should be. Now they're specifically talking about conduct, but this applies, because gluttonous, even though there's a physical attribute, it all comes from the spiritual realm. It has something to do with how you're making decisions and how you're treating your body, and how you divulging into your emotions. Like I said, this used to be big on me. You know what I'm saying? I used to make a banging cheesecake from scratch. And when I moved over to I've been working on this cheesecake since I was like 8. So I done perfected this thing. During the hell of a days before I was in the truth, I would be selling them things like hotcakes. I got 10 for the family, and I got another 20 for everybody else. So I was really into it, but everybody, you're going to have to cross that road. Because, even though we're men physically, when we come across, the truth and choose not to do it, or come across correction and choose not to receive it, you end up making yourself less than the man of the Most High. We refer back to our beast form. But let me pull up. Yeah, here we go. Now, this specifically talks about being in leadership. And it's funny. I mean, I literally not even an hour ago got off the phone with a new brother, which he's not on the call because he had another engagement, but he's going to be on here. His name is Brian. Yeah, Brian, out of Wisconsin. So you got 1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 3. This is a true saying: if a man desire the office of a bishop, meaning pastor, he desireth a good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, and apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, and not covetous. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all, it looks like it says gratuity. But I got that 16:11, but I think that's what that's saying. It says, not a novice. Well, I'm gonna skip down to verse 6. Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride. So novice meaning experience at life, because there's a stage in everybody, in every man, that when you becoming mature, when you get good at your craft, you got people following you. You walk around with a sense of self-pride versus, pride in being proud in the Most High and following his statutes and commandments. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting like notoriety and things like that, and you like feeding off of that. That's really, that's really a trap. So that's what that's talking about right there. Let's be lifted up with pride, and then you fall into condemnation of the devil. That means you don't fall into your emotion and being tempted, and you fall into your secret desires. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has to go through it. Ain't no way in the world you're gonna get to the kingdom and you don't take care of your temple. No, it's absolutely no way. But taking it a step further, it is 100% a spiritual issue. Talking to a brother, who said that he did this, he was doing that because it's because trying to keep calm and things like that. That's not how we were made. I mean, you get medication up, or you take something to try to calm you down, try to calm down your mental. You giving that thing your power away. And for folks that are gluttonous, it is food. It is food. I can't even eat until my stomach pokes out anymore. Like, when I feel full, and I ain't gonna lie, I've tried. I used to be able to drink a gallon of water till my stomach come way out. You drink too much water one time, that's out of gluttony. That's called hypernatremia. You getting rid of the bio minerals and electrolytes that your body needs to communicate with itself. So it's not necessarily that too much of a good thing is bad for you, but it's how you deal with that thing. Because there's two, I ain't gonna say there's two different types, but you got because you got gluttonous folks that actually eat natural food, and you got gluttonous folks that eat unnatural food. And the latter one, they have it much, much worse, because folks that eat unclean food breeds bacteria, breeds parasites, and those bacteria, those parasites that are living in you and living inside with that white tissue, people call mucus, people call fat, which is really mucus, actually controls your brain and tries to put out hormones for you to desire sugar, and the sugar feeds them. And that's where, if you're hungry, if you're truly hungry, it is not going to come from your belly. That's a fact. It's going to come from your salivary glands. Just like when a baby is born, they're drooling a lot. That's how you know when they're ready to eat, when they get to drooling. And that's like one of the first signs. But if you feel like you're hungry and your stomach is gurgling, you need to drink you some water. Make that a fast day, because what you're going through is a withdrawal symptom from sugar and from flesh and blood. And that's something that's against, well, not the sugar, but the flesh and blood, most definitely. That's against the laws of the Most High. So, I mean, if you really want some help, take heed to what's going to be in this message. But there's absolutely no way in the world that anyone should be in a leadership position and you walking around looking like chewed up bubblegum. No matter whether you're underweight or overweight, it's an emotional attachment. That's a temptation of the devil that you need to get through, and only you can figure that out, that you need for your development to attain Christ. Everybody has to cross it. And based,
What script was that again that you read from, Yashabo?
I read 1 Timothy 3:3 all the way to verse 7, but it's also in Titus 1:7 as well. I'll go ahead and bring that out. And it basically mimics the same exact thing, where it says, I'm gonna start from verse 6, Titus 1 and verse 6. If any man be blameless, the husband of one wife, having faithful children, not accused of riot or unruly, for a bishop must be blameless. Now, this folks in a leadership position, as a steward of Yahweh, of God, not self-willed, not soon to anger, not given to wine, and that's actually given to anything. So gluttony is given to food. No striker, not given to filthy lucre, but a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperate, holding fast to the faithful word, as he have been taught, that he may be able to, by sound doctrine, both exhort and to convince the gainsayers. And that's it on that one. So especially in a leadership position, you see that, our lives are put on blast. And being a leader among men, not only now, but throughout the majority of my life, different age groups of men, always being under scrutiny, you gotta be ahead of it. You can't run away from your fears, and you gotta be self-disciplined. So if there's something that you got an issue with, you have to deal with that. Which is why, Mashiach showed us how to fast and pray, how he dealt with his fear when he, put up on the cross. Like I said, everybody has to go through it. You're not just gonna get the 6 to 10 pack or be able to attain being able, to be out in the heat for hours on end, preaching the word, on the Most High, and and passing out. Ain't nobody pass out on the mountain when you had folks that were famished. Won't no one, passing out from heat strokes and different things like that. So, I mean, you got to be strong. And the strength first, like, you got to be self-disciplined. It comes from your mind. Your mind makes your body strong, and you can use your body to help, change your mind and, fix your habits. But it's all in there. What you got, Kahan?
Yeah, I mean, and like you're saying, any kind of organization, right? If you got a bunch of gluttonous men and women in it, in leadership positions, that should suggest something to you about that organization. There's a lack of discipline there. And if you're lacking in one area, chances are they're lacking somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? That's also a reflection of laziness. Because again, unless you have some sort of medical condition, there's absolutely no excuse for that. And then you get upset if someone calls you fat. Well, you might be just free and fat. You see what I'm saying? No, I'm just big boned. Talk to a female, that's baby fat. She's grown, but she's calling that baby fat. All these damn years, you haven't gotten rid of that baby fat. You understand what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, the excuses that they create, but it's very well present, and in particularly in this, so-called Israelite community. And again, when you look at the so-called home of the truth, guys calling themselves ISUPK, there's a large percentage of those men that's actually in leadership position. They're gluttonous, like this damn guy Mathathawa in the house of David. That dude's a damn gluttonous. He's gluttonous, and so it's a lack of discipline. Men that sit around, your mind must go to some place where you just give up. You know how certain athletes like Mike Tyson, now he's looking kind of bad. You see what I'm saying? Now here's a man that used to be in magnificent shape, but where people make mistakes when they get to a certain place in life. Well, you're 40 years old. You shouldn't be doing that anymore. You shouldn't be playing basketball or so on and so forth. That's a young man's sport. That's why they start to lose it, man.
Yeah, they get complacent.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, but I'm saying they get complacent.
Right. And then, and so it's kind of like the good brother Yasha was saying, one day I'm going to eat real good tonight. You start looking forward. That's how the gluttony starts in your mind. You start looking forward, and that becomes dangerous, man. When you start to take too much pride in eating, so you start looking forward to eating. Then you start to tell yourself excuses. I'll burn it off tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, you got to work extra hard now. And so your heart is going to beat faster because all that damn processed food that you got in your system now your heart got to work even heavier, harder and harder and harder. And then so if you don't work out like you told yourself you was going to do, then you might add a pound. You might add a half a pound. Then you do the same thing, and then the days become weeks. Then all of a sudden, a year later, you look down, you can't even see your private parts anymore because your damn stomach's blocking it. Your stomach's blocking it because now, gluttony has actually kicked in. And again, this don't necessarily have to apply to people that one would actually deem as fat. Because again, there's what is known as skinny fat people. And that means their body weight index, their fat is like just out of tune. It is not directly proportionate to their body. And so let me show you what I'm talking about here. When we say a skinny fat person, because sometimes our people love to play stupid and pretend they don't know what's going on. I'm not calling anyone stupid. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. Let me pull up a photo here that I download. I'll show you what I mean when we say a skinny fat person. Someone put something in the chat. Hey, Tazadaq, stop calling me fat. Yeshaya put in Sirach 31 and 19. Yeah, you could bring that out. Hold on a second, man. Let me try and pull the screen up real quick so they could see this, so you guys see what I'm talking about. Skinny fat person.
Yeah, this got it all in there. That's Sirach 31.
So can anyone see this? This is what we're talking about. You see this guy's the guy is skinny, but he got a gut. You see what I'm saying? He's skinny fat. And if you was to check his body fat percentage, this guy has a very high percentage of body fat. And fat often starts in this area right here. And this is where it's most dangerous, right here. This is what causes the strokes and so on and so forth. This is the skinny fat person that he's talking about. So bring out that scripture that Yeshaya put in the room, good brother. We're actually gonna get into some scriptures, but bring that out.
So you got Sirach 31 and 19. A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
Right. So Johanna, very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured. Go ahead, read on.
And he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed.
Come on.
You got 20. This is it right here. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating.
Right. So I mean, Matatawa, instead of trying to call me these names, you need to reflect. Tell them where you're reading from, up.
That is Sirach 31 and 19.
31 and 19, Matatawa. Sound sleep. And I know you don't get a lot of Sam, because people that's gluttonous, it usually coincides with sleep apnea. You see what I'm saying? They'll stop breathing in their sleep. Your damn gut gets so damn big, it becomes exceedingly difficult for you to believe, for you to even breathe when you're sleeping. And it becomes a danger to your health. Read it again, huh?
Sirach 31 and 19. A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed. You got verse 20. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He riseth early, and his wits are with him. But
Right.
the pain of watching and choler and pangs of the belly are with an insatiable man.
So yeah, he has an insatiable desire. He got an insatiable desire for eating, right? He eating cheeseburgers. He over at Murder King, going over to Taco Hell. You know he shouldn't be eating this kind of stuff, man. McDevils. I mean, he eating all this bad stuff that he know he shouldn't be eating, pouring on hundreds of calories at once. And he doesn't burn it off and then go to the gym, because if you put in so much calories and you don't burn that off, that's going to store his body fat. And that's what's going on, man. That's what's going on. So, I mean, and to make matters worse, then you got all these temptations in the world, right? To overeat. They want burgers, pizza, chicken buffets. They go to a damn buffet. A gluttonous person don't have no damn business at a buffet, man. The heck you doing on a buffet? But you know, the Lord tells you to control your appetite and keep our bodies healthy. Stop me where I'm lying at, Mathathawa. Stop me where I'm lying at, ISUPK, the home of the truth. No, that's the home of gluttony. That's the home of gluttony, man. See, people don't want to talk about this stuff, but it has to be talked about. That's a lack of discipline. If you're going to be a leader, then lead appropriately. So you know what's getting on there? The spirit of the devil. The Lord said, resist the devil when he tempts you with cravings. Damn, I want a piece of chocolate cake. You got to resist that, brothers, sisters. Now, if you're resisting it, obviously, you wouldn't be 150, 200 pounds overweight. Johanna's not even that tall, man. And he weighed 300 and some pounds. But they don't want to talk about these sins. You want to talk about the other sins. How are you in a leadership position, man? If you're going to lead, then lead appropriately. You can't be in a leadership position and be a gluttonous man. You're supposed to set an example. That's what a good leader does. People are, well, is there any gays in heaven? Well, how about, is there any fat people in heaven? You ever stop to think about that? Is there any gluttonous people in heaven? Because if it's a sin, common sense, see, people don't want to talk about this, but it's very real. Common sense should tell you that the Most High condemns it. That's why it's a sin. So my question, Johanna, is how, because you get on here, you talk about the homosexuals, you talk about the no good women. The grill. You get on there, you talk about this. Well, what about you? What about gluttony? This is a terrible sin. He said, nah, gluttony is no big deal. Gluttony's no big deal. See, everyone's a biblical lyricist, right? Until you bring up gluttony. Then they start getting quiet. You understand? And besides that, the scriptures, besides the scripture that Yeshaya brought out, the Bible condemns it.
Con, he put
The
out
Bible's
another.
against it. In fact, you find gluttony mentioned more than homosexuals mentioned in the Bible. So how should Israelites and you so-called Christians, you don't escape this either. How should you deal with this? Well, the operative word is that question is think. Think, right? We can't settle for one sin and then try and condemn all the others. Well, yeah, well, I mean, so he eats, he overeats a little bit. Is it, should we equate gluttony with being fat? We already said it's not just for fat people. I pulled up the skinny fat guy. Yashabum talked about that. Because you got reasons, and again, I can't overemphasize this. We're not picking on people that have thyroid problems, that have medical reasons why they're overweight, right? But you have gluttonous people that's underweight. Some people might be fit as a fiddler, as they say. You have all sorts of reasons, right? But, the gluttonous Kentucky Fried Chicken eaters, eating McDevils, a damn Big Mac, and so on and so forth. And, I mean, something, is that the reason you guys are charging people $100 a head for the Passover? So you're telling me one man go to a Passover, he's going to eat $100? I mean, I want you to think about that. A man's going to eat $100 plate of food when you got that many people? Come on, man. Scripture say he that rules over a man must be just. So, I mean, you got to think about all of this, man. You got these men out here leading you, but you're not really paying attention to what's going on. And this is why most of these Israelites, they don't like me. Why? Because I tell the truth, man. I call it how I see it. Mathatha, he's a gluttonous in the house of David, but he going around talking, jaw dropping. Negro, get in the gym and work out. Stop worrying about Tazadaq. Accept the rebuke and change yourself. I'm giving you love. Yeah, I just like to eat. And you're going to die, Negro, die. Well, you got to die of something. That's how they think. Well, you don't have to rush it. And it sets a bad example for the youth. Don't you know now? One, and if you think I'm lying, put this theory to the test, because I tried it again and again and didn't come out wrong. 7 out of 10 people in the United States are overweight. 7 out of 10. You can't even call me a liar. If you think I'm lying, the next time you go into a supermarket, or if you're walking down the street of New York, Craig, wherever you are at, you count the next 10 people you see, and 7 of them's overweight. I've done it many times, man. Me and my rib, I was like, seven. She's like, nah, you sit. And we started counting people, man. I mean, we walking on 42nd Street. It's like, damn, that's 8. That's 9.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It became hard to find even 7. You see what I'm saying? It was more than 7 that was overweight. Because even if some of them had skinny legs, like Yashabun was saying, they had a gut in front of them, man. Mm-hmm. And then the people, they had they was eating all of the stuff that they shouldn't have been eating. Slices of pizza in their hand, drinking a damn Coke, and so on and so forth. And then they'll get offended if you tell them about it. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear the lie. They want to affiliate with people like Tazadaq. They want to hear people say, oh, no, it's not so bad. They're lying to you. That person is causing you an injury. And later on, you're going to suffer for that in life. Someone telling you, oh, you're fat. Well, you might just be fat. You know what I mean? So now, once you acknowledge the problem, you're supposed to work on it. Now you realize you have a problem. What are you going to do now? You might just be fat. You might need, because guess what? Have you actually ever seen someone change by someone telling, oh, no, you're good. Someone got a problem. You keep telling them it's okay. They don't feel like they have a reason to change. But it's not that bad. So sad. They're already lying to themselves. That's bad enough, right? So now you're going to lie to them. If you really care about someone, you're not going to lie to them like that. You're going to tell them, nah, honestly, I think If this is how you want to be, just understand, you got to be brutally honest. It's going to affect your health in the long run. You understand? Let's get it. Let's see what the word says. Let's go to the book of Proverbs 23, verse 20. Proverbs 23, verse 20. These people like to gorge on all the food, drink a lot of wine like they do at the Passover. Some of these Israelites, man, they're wicked as hell. I've been to Passovers, they grabbing bottle after bottle of wine, man, just drinking and eating. Gluttonous. They ain't trying to force me, yo, you got to drink at the Passover. I said, I don't drink, man. I don't drink. You got to drink. I said, okay, I'll drink some non-alcoholic beverage, but I'm not drinking wine, and you're not going to tell me that I have to drink that. I could drink non-alcoholic that hasn't been fermented. Go ahead, bring that out. Proverbs 23 and 20.
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 20. Be not amongst wine bibbers, amongst riotous eaters of flesh.
Against what kind of eaters?
Riotous eaters of flesh.
So that means they eating, they're just gorging over food, man. Yeah, I'm coming. That's a gluttonous person, man. A riotous eater of flesh. A riotous eater of flesh. Eating all this chicken, all this beef, and now these animals are injected with hormones so they grow faster. So you get fat faster. And if you're going down, if you're going down to the damn hood and to the Chinese store, you don't know what the heck you're eating. They got MSG in it. You just eat more of it and just feeling like you're not even full. You just got to eat a little bit more of it. Let's go to Proverbs 23, verse 2. The Lord said, you might as well put a damn mouth to your throat, Mathathawa, if you're going to be gluttonous. Let's talk about that. You don't talk about anything else, Johanna. The Lord said, you may as well put a knife to your throat if you're giving a gluttony. And there's no way in the hell you're going to convince me you're not giving a gluttony. And so therefore, you men shouldn't even be ruling over men. Go and fix your own life.
Proverbs 23, verse 2. And put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite.
Yeah, read it again.
And put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite.
Somebody give that man a knife, man. Someone give that man a knife, man. Give that man a knife, man. And
just force him to stop.
Come on. Yeah, that's the only way. The Lord is saying, man, you may as well. Otherwise, it's saying you're killing yourself. To those of you that can't get it, right? Just go ahead, because what it's saying is you're committing suicide. That's what the scripture is saying. You're committing suicide by overeating, and it's going to come back. It might come in the form of a stroke, might come in the form of a heart attack, but it's coming. It's coming, and when it comes, you're not going to like it. Damn, Tazadaq, why you got to talk about this, man? Hey, Yeshaya put another scripture. Bring out Philippians 3 and 19.
Hey, Taz, could I share my experience as well?
Sure, go ahead. Bring it out.
Well, I had to go to the doctor before I had came into this truth. And when I actually went into the doctor's office, it was a small Medicare emergency clinic. And the doctor that I ended up seeing, he was like, to my eyes, it was like he was like 400, 500 pounds. And
Wow.
when I actually came into the room for him to be seen, he was like, oh, let me wipe my hands off. I just finished eating that Bojangles. What can I help you with?
The doctor?
Yeah, it was the doctor.
See that?
And I didn't feel comfortable. I told him, I was like, I know I'm in pain. I done hit my hand in my door. And I was just like, is there any other doctors that could see me? Because I felt as if, if you're a caring doctor, why is not the first person you care for yourself?
Right. Come on.
So yeah, I actually ended up going to another emergency care, but he was like way overweight.
Wow. See that? And guess what? There's a lot of people that are going to take that doctor's advice, man. If the doctor doesn't outlive his patient, Joshua, How can we take the doctor's advice? Why are you going to listen to someone that's living less than you? He's overweight because most people, and this is what I never understood, right? So I'm a certified personal trainer, even though I don't have time to do it anymore. I never understood why people would go to a damn personal trainer that has a damn gut. You understand what I'm saying? Why are you going to this person? This person's telling you to do something when they're not doing it themselves. Typically, you should have a trainer that you can look up to. Otherwise, what he's telling you is theory, because he's not living it out.
It's Salakia. But you know, actually in high school, I had a personal trainer teacher because they had like a PT class, like weightlifting class.
Yeah.
And the personal training coach, overweight. And it was like that for 4 years. I took the class for 4 years. He's been overweight for 4 years, treadmill every class while we work out. Never lost a pound.
See that?
Kid you not? And he was personal training as well on the side after school. Besides his actual job at school, he actually had a personal training at the gym from when I was in high school or whatever. And he had his own card. He gave it to me and everything. And people would go to his class. Man was still overweight. Never lost a pound. My 4 years I was in high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See, I couldn't. I can't deal with a theorist like that. You're gonna have to show me. You know what I mean? Because what if someone said, "Hey, how do I know this works?" And I'm not saying he can't cause you to lose weight, but you typically want, you know, that trainer to be a mentor, right? Well, yeah, he looks like that. Most people are like, damn, how can I look like you? What are you gonna say to an overweight personal trainer? How can I look like you? Don't do it. Just eat. Just go and get some more pizza. Just go and get some soda. You want to look like me?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not a good role model. You see what I'm saying? That's not a good mentor. That's not a good mentor. Hey, did you get that? Someone get that? Philippians 3:19. Come on.
Philippians 3:19, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly,
Come on.
and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things.
Come on. So they mind earthly thing. And I hate to say this, man. This is, let me show you something, man. Let's see who the Lord is talking about. He's talking about the home of the truth. And from that, brother, get Proverbs 25 and 16. He's talking about the home of the truth. Let me show you some of the stuff that he's talking about here. Whose belly, read that again, brother. What you say? Whose belly is their God? Mm-hmm.
God, whose God is their belly. Yeah, Philippians 3:19, it says, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly.
Yeah, this is their leadership right here. Look at that. All of these men are overweight, man. All of these men right here are overweight.
Wow.
This is a leader. This is the so-called, this man has self-appointed himself next under Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. He said he's in charge of the whole nation of Israel, and he can't even control his body weight.
Impossible.
That's supposed to be the temple of the Lord. All of these men are overweight, man.
God forbid, but that means.
Now, what example are they setting for the youth?
Nah.
And just because they don't have health problems now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to have health problems in the near future, because they're damn sure coming. They're damn sure coming, man. What was that next scripture? Proverbs 25:16. Yeah, bring it up.
Proverbs 25:16. Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit.
Come on. So we're supposed to eat until it's sufficient. But if you overindulge, it makes you sick, man. It makes you sick. And so again, too many people can't control the appetite. They're gluttonous. Yet they go around and tell other men what to do. You got gluttonous men going around telling other men what to do. From there, let's go to the book of Job 15 and 27. So the Lord said in Proverbs 23:2, put a knife to your throat if you're given to appetite, if you're overeating, if you can't control your appetite. put a knife to your throat. It requires discipline, but you could do it. You can work through it, but you got to be willing to do it.
Job 15:27. Because he covereth his face with his fatness and maketh callops of fat on his flanks.
Read it again, man. He covered his face with fatness. Isn't that what we just saw on the screen?
Con.
Yeah, he covered his face with fatness, man. Look like he didn't have a neck, man. His damn neck sitting on his shoulders. I mean, his damn head sitting on his shoulders, man. Don't even have a neck.
Job 15:26.
Covered his face with fatness, man.
Because
Same thing with Mathatha, man. See him in a damn garment, man. Damn garment looked like a parachute. The man's so damn big. You could use this, hey, real talk, man. You could use this damn garment and I could be a damn like, I jumped from a damn plane with his garment. His garment so damn big like a parachute. You got gluttonous men like this trying to lead the nation. And they get mad because I'm calling them out. I'm going to call them out, man, through the spirit of the Lord, man, because it's a sin. I'll shame you down and straighten you out. Go ahead, Al.
real men ain't gonna follow a man of that stature in the war. It just ain't gonna happen.
Go on. He ain't gonna last in the war. Can you imagine him carrying a damn rucksack or something on his back? He trying to go up a damn hill. He breathing all hard. Because when you go upstairs and you're heavyweight, your heart rate escalates way up, man.
Yep.
The heart rate's gonna shoot way up. You have a damn stroke running up the stairs.
Job 15:27. Because he covereth his face with his fatness and maketh callops of fat on his flanks.
Come on, you got fat all on the sides, man. But there's a deeper reason to avoid too much eating, right? Because why? Eventually it damages your health. The Most High gave us our bodies, man. And he wants us to take care of them. The scriptures say you are not your own. You are bought at a price. Let's get that. 1 Corinthians 6:19-20. You're bought at a price, Yohana. You're bought at a price. Mathathawa. Take care of the Lord's temple, man. You didn't defile it with all this gluttonous eating.
1 Corinthians chapter 6:19. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of Yahweh?
Yeah,
And
right. So your body's not your own. You have this body because the Most High gave it to you. Read on.
And ye are not your own. Verse 20. For ye are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify Yahweh in your body.
That's right. You're supposed to honor the Most High in your body. You're bought at a price. Now, how you leaning, men, Yohana? You say you're second in Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. We don't see. Now, Hamashiach wasn't overweight, man. Can you imagine? The Pharisees would have been like, boy, you can't tell us nothing, man. We got a fat form over here. You go over here, then you come back and you talk to us, man. How you gonna be a leader, man? You overweight like that, man. How you gonna set an example? A leader is supposed to be first, man, on the battlefield. So the danger in this, man, is that most of these gluttonous people, they enjoy eating too much. They enjoy feeling stuff. They start damn burping and farting all over the damn place. They enjoy being, they don't necessarily enjoy being overweight, but this is what they do. So what does this set of gluttonous look like? It looks like some of the men that we had on the screen. Too much eating, man. McRib sandwich. Partaking in food should be much less of a concern. They don't want to talk about partaking in the sin of food, but they talk about the sexual sins and all of that. The gluttonous people get a pass. You don't get no pass with me, man. Yohana, you ain't no damn next in charge under Yahweh Shah. You're not but a prodigal son wasting your life on riotous eating. That's what you are. You see how the prodigal son left and he went out and wasted everything. You're wasting your life on riotous eating. No one put you in charge of the nation. Can you imagine that, man? But Dr. When he's sitting on the so-called House of David, they didn't set themselves up as the government of Israel. And all the damn whole House of David is sitting on the body. You don't want me to start talking, man, because I know stuff on you, man. One of them brothers in there, his rib is not even an Israelite. She's of the other nation.
We got another precept.
Bring it up.
Yeshua put out Proverbs 13:25. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want.
Come.
And then you got 23 and 21. We missed 21 earlier. We did 20. But verse 21 reads, for the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man in rags.
Come. So as we see, there's more scriptures in the Bible about gluttony than there is about homosexuality. But they don't talk about this. From there, let's go to Philippians 3 and 19 through 20. These people are headed to destruction, man. See, their God is their appetite. They brag about shameful things, and they're only thinking about their life here on earth. But we're supposed to be citizens of heaven, where the Lord Hamashiach Yahweh Shah lives. And we're eagerly waiting for him to return as our Savior. But if gluttony's a sin, and Johanna, I want you to think about what I'm saying, all you ISUPK members. If gluttony's a sin and Hamashiach's against it, how in the hell can Johanna be next under Hamashiach Yahweh Shah? When this man is sitting, he's sinning with his mouth. With riotous eating. That means he's not going to make it into the kingdom. If it's a sin, what are you going to go in the kingdom and sin? Think about what I'm saying, man. Proverbs, Salakia, Philippians 3 and 19 through 20.
Philippians chapter 3, 19 and 20, and it reads, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly.
Yeah, their God is their belly. Their end is destruction, whose God is their belly. Read on.
And whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things.
Yeah, they concentrate on, hey, well, yeah, we're the next in charge on the Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. ISUPK, home of the truth. All right, roger that.
For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, Hamashiach Yahweh Shah.
Come. So we're waiting on the return of Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. But according to Hamashiach, a gluttonous man is not getting into the kingdom. So Johanna, you better go on a diet. You better get on the TDOC Trooper program. From there, let's go to Proverbs 25 and 16. Now, we just read that one. We don't need that one again. That was one of the scriptures I was going to bring. Let's go to Proverbs 23, verse 1, 2, 3.
You said Proverbs 21, 2 through 3?
Proverbs 23, chapter 1. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, verse 1. So like it. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I got you. You ready?
Yeah, come.
All right, cool. Proverbs 23, 1 through 3. When thou sittest to eat with the ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite.
Right. So, I mean, so how would Johanna sit before Hamashiach Yahweh Shah? This is just talking about worldly ruler right here. But how would he sit before Hamashiach Yahweh Shah? The scripture is saying to put a knife to your throat if you're given a gluttony. If this man's given to his appetite. Okay, read on.
Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat.
Right. So he said, do not crave his delicacy. See, that's basically what it's saying. For that food is deceptive, Johanna. That food is deceptive. Matatawa, but you love to eat, huh? You know what? A fat person once told me, man, that eating feels like he was having an orgasm. I'm serious. So, yo, man, why you overeat like that? He said, damn, man, I'd rather eat than have an orgasm.
Wow.
Yeah, he said when he have intercourse, like, he had gotten so big that he couldn't get on top anymore. That a light should have went off at some point. You know what I mean? A light should have went off at some point. From there, let's go to the book of Psalm 78 and 17. So you're sinning against the Most High, Johanna, but you're second in charge under Yahweh Shah. You missed me with that, man. But you're a gluttonous man, and you got gluttony. You got a glutton bunch of men in your camp, and your assembly.
Psalm 78.
The 17.
17.
Psalm 78 and 17.
Con. Psalm 78 and 17. And they sin yet more against him.
Johanna keeps sinning, but he say he's second in charge under Hamashiach. How are you sinning? With gluttony. You're sinning with your spoon and your fork. Okay.
By provoking the Most High in the wilderness.
This is what Israel did. They wanted to go back and eat that good food with Pharaoh. Okay, read.
Con. Verse
So
18.
they stubbornly tested the Most High in their heart, demanding the food that they crave. Okay, read.
Verse 18. And they tempted Yahweh in their heart by asking meat for their lust.
See, they wanted a certain kind of food, like these gluttonous Israelites today. Okay, read.
19. Yea, they spake against Yahweh. They said, can Yahweh furnish a table in the wilderness?
Right. Can you give us food in the wilderness? So they're not focusing on, hey, man, he brought us out of here for sale, to be saved from pharaohs. They're thinking about the food. They're thinking about food. From there, let's go to Proverbs 25 and 27. Now, we had that one. We don't need that one again. We don't need that one again. Let's talk about the temple, man. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 3, 16 through 17. You're supposed to be the temple of the Lord thy power. So it's not right to be gluttonous. You got to control it, man. And it might not be easy, but you got to control it. You got to control that desire. You got to control that lust to overeat. Probably got, Johanna and them might be like, damn, he done made me hungry. Get that sandwich up. And I'm going to get that sandwich, man. We're going to blast his ass out. But let me get that turkey. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of Yahweh, and the spirit of Yahweh dwelleth in you? 17.
So we're supposed to be the temple of the Most High. So you're going to defile the temple of the Most High by overindulging your stomach all the way out the head. All the way out the head. You're like the damn, they pull out them damn garments, man. They look like the damn Michelin men. That damn man with them damn tires around. He like the damn Michelin men when they undress. They talking about leadership, man. The hell are you gonna lead? A damn tire commercial? A damn Michelin man with all them damn rings around his waist? That becomes dangerous, man. You too, Mathato. That's why you wear those big ass garments. They're like a damn parachute. Go ahead, Al.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17. If any man defile the temple of Yahweh, him Yahweh will destroy.
So how Yohanan saying he's second under the most, under Yahweh Shah when he's defiling the Lord's temple by overeating? He's a gluttony. He's a glutton. Matata was a glutton. How are these men leading people? So you got to clean up the whole nation of Israel. This nation is screwed up, man. What kind of example is that? You put on a damn man, on the damn council and body, and yeah, I mean, and he sit down, look like the damn sun is setting. You understand what I'm saying? He stood down wide, look like the sun is setting. If you sit him in front of the damn window, you think it's night out time. Sorry, go ahead, out. This is a disgrace, man. Can't be no damn leader like that. Not a real leader.
Khan. For the temple of Yahweh is holy, which temple ye are. 18. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise.
Gone. Now let me ask you something. Let's get the book of Romans chapter 12, verse 1 to 2. When people look at Mathathawa, or many of these guys, in ISUPK, typically the leaders, do they look like they're bringing their bodies as a living sacrifice to the Most High, dedicated to pleasing Him, being gluttonous? I mean, it's common sense. And by the way, that's a rhetorical question. You answer that with that.
You got Romans chapter 12, verse 1 through 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service.
So what's set apart? Holy meaning set apart. What's set apart about being gluttonous? Anyone could do that. Anyone could sit down and overeat, but it requires discipline not to do that, especially if you already have that problem. If you already have that problem, but because just about anyone could be a gluttonous, unless they're, they have, what do you call that? When they make themselves vomit, the opposite of a gluttonous, anorexic. Yeah. So, I mean, you got to have self-control if you want to be a leader, Mathathawa. You got to have self-control if you want to be a leader, Johanna. Book of Proverbs 25 and 28.
You want to finish out Romans 12 and 2?
Yeah, you finish it out.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, that acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh.
So it's not good to overeat. It's not good to be gluttonous. So you need a transforming of your mind. And to think that you're next under Hamashiach, that's one of the most appalling things that I've ever heard. You got to get a rule over your spirit, because if you have a rule over your spirit, you won't be gluttonous. Proverbs 25 and 28.
Proverbs 29, verse 28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down without walls.
Right. So a man that's overeating, he don't have no rule over his own spirit. He doesn't have a rule over his own spirit. From there, let's go to Titus 1 and 8. You got to have self-control. You got to have discipline. You want to be a good leader. You want to sit out in front of men. You want to call yourself a leader. Then do what the scriptures say.
Book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 8. But a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperate. Verse 9. Holding fast the faithful word as he hath been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both exhort and convince the gainsayers.
Let's go to the book of Numbers, the 11th chapter, 32 to 34.
At the book of Numbers, chapter 11, verse 32. And the people stood up all day and all that night and all the next day, and they gathered the quails. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them all abroad for themselves round about the camp. 33. And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people.
So you see what's going on here? While they were gorging themselves on meat, like Johanna loves to do, like Mathathawa loves to do, while it was still in their mouth, the anger of the Lord blazed against the people, and he struck them with a severe plague. Okay, read on up.
And the Lord smote the people with a very great plague. Verse 34. And he called the name of that place Kibroth Hattahuah.
Yeah, Kibroth Hattahuah means graves of gluttony. If you doubt it, go and look it up yourself. It means graves of gluttony. And if you're not careful, Johanna and Mathathawa, there's going to be a grave of gluttony for you. And so anyone else under the sounds of our voice, you might want to take heed to this. You may not like the delivery, though I be rude in speech, but not in knowledge. So you may not like the delivery, but it's definitely the Spirit of the Lord that's talking to you today. So what is it called again? Yashima, read it one more time.
On the name of the place,
We can hear you.
And the name of that place was Kibroth Hattahuah. Because
Graves of gluttony, when you look it up in the Hebrew. That's what it means. Graves of gluttony. Most High struck them with the food in their mouth. From there, let Terrence C. get this one, man. 2 Corinthians 11, verse 6.
that's for you, Terrence C.
But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge.
Con. So, I mean, you may not like the delivery of this. Might sound like I'm rude, though I may be rude in speech, though not in mouth. So get the hell out of your emotions and suck it up and drive on. Read it again.
But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge.
So, Mathathawa, though I be rude in speech, but not in knowledge. And if you don't repent for your gluttonous lifestyle, we're going to dig a grave of gluttony for you. Because you might not be with us much longer. And that may sound harsh, and though I may be rude in speech, but not in knowledge. That's the truth. And the truth will make you free. John 8 and 32. But the truth usually makes them mad before it makes them free. But if you could get over your anger, you will be free indeed. Anyone, you got anything, Terrence, you want to bring up? Anyone?
There's another precept that
Bring it up.
Shia put out. That's Deuteronomy 21, verse 20 and 21. And it reads, and they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Verse 21, and all the men of this city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shall thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear.
So, I mean, if someone has actually had this problem and you overcame it, all praise is due to the Most High, man. All praise, because it's not easy, man. An addiction, any kind of addiction, is not easy to overcome. And an addiction of gluttony is like having a damn drug addiction, man. Like being addicted to food is akin to being addicted to drugs.
Con.
Because when they start to eat, man, like their damn mind just starts to orgasm, like, you know, like it's releasing dopamine. So they want more and more and more and more of it. And so they can't control it. Damn, that nigga right. I hate that nigga, but he right. So you got to get over it, man. You got to get over it, man.
Con. So for, I would say the easiest way physically, at least in dealing with me and how I, overcame it, I just, I changed up what I was eating based on the Dr. Saban nutritional guide. And by that guide alone, since his whole methodology is eating natural food and raw food, the fiber and the herbs are going to push out all that stuff that you got kegged up in you. And the herbs are going to clean out and let loose the stuff that you got kegged up on the inside of your digestional tract. Because when that stuff starts to increase in your midsection, you're actually burdening your spirit and you're lowering your immune system. You may not think so. I mean, we just read in the, in the Bible where, you're losing sleep and you're vomiting. All that stuff is taking, unnecessary energy for your body to get rid of these toxins because it's too much. And you're harming yourself. You weakening your body. So whether you skinny fat or whether you fat, either way, you're a weak man, and the Most High cannot use you.
Right, but you're gonna say like Yohanan said, "Wow, I'm next in charge of the Yahweh Shah, and he's overweight, man. He's overweight, man. I mean, that would really mess with me psychologically, man. If I got like overweight, because I'm just like all of my life, I've been a health conscious person and very active. So for a man to just sit around, and it's typical. It's the way that this society has actually manipulated people's minds to work. Once they get a certain age, well, you don't do that anymore. That's not. You start to get fat because your metabolism as you get older is going to slow down. So if you maintain the same diet that you had when you was in your late 20s or early 30s, you're still taking in all those calories, but your metabolism is slowing down. That weight, those calories are going to build up, and that's going to become excess. It's going to stay with you. It's going to store as fat. And over the years, it just continues to build up. You gain 2-3 pounds every year, and so on and so forth. A holiday come, these Negroes overeat. It's no damn different, man, than a lot of worldly people. You go to some of these Israelites Passovers, because I've been to a few different ones, man. They matter of fact, they got damn things you're not even supposed to have at the Passover. You see what I'm saying? They did potato salad. Man, where that's at in the scripture? Yeah, potato salad, all these other things. They're gluttonous. So they turn it into some sort of party or something. You know what I mean? You charging a man $100. And man, when I was with one organization, don't you know they try and charge like $600 per person to go to that damn Passover? $600 per person. I left, man. Are you serious, man? Yeah, man, it's where we're gonna have it at. Well, maybe you shouldn't have it there. I'm like, just paying for the rent of the building. Well, a light should go off. You shouldn't have it there. Because where's that written up? Right, that's exactly where it was. But I mean, back then, Yeshaya, it was 6. That's exactly who it was. It was them.
Dang.
It was them when I was with them. They was charging $650 now. I mean, then, so now it done damn near, it done double. It done double.
That's crazy.
But back then, they couldn't even call me a liar. And a lot of them trying to deny it. And they ain't trying to charge you that. The hell they didn't. They told me $650 for me and $650 for my wife to come to that Passover. And I was helping them build it up.
How long should one fast?
It's a wickedness.
How often?
What's that?
You said how long should one fast and how often?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're fasting for. If you're fasting for the scriptures, first of all, fasting primarily should be done to get rid of sins, right? To get your spirit right, right? To see, a lot of people, they just want to fast for health reasons. So when you fast for the Most High, it's clearing out your spirit. A lot of people have demons on them, man. Like gluttony, man. That's dealing with an unclean spirit. It's a spirit that jumped on them that makes them want to continue eating. And they tell themselves, they'll make it halfway through the day. Well, I'm not going to eat this. And so once you say, I'm going to hit you with something, man. Fasting worldly is not the same as fasting for the Most High, right? Because if you're fasting for the Most High, once you say I'm going to fast, you can't break that fast, man, or it becomes a sin. You're not supposed to break a fast once you say you're going to fast for the Lord, right? So don't put that out there, because what is that? I think Deuteronomy 24, 23, I believe. Let me check it out real quick, man. Once you say something out of your mouth, man, to the Most High, you don't go back and change your words just because you don't feel like it. You're not supposed to do that. That is a sin. The Lord's going to hold you accountable for that.
Now, while you're dealing with it, and I kind of said that earlier, that when you're dealing with your body, you can, manipulate, your mind, which essentially is your spirit. Now, when you're fasting for the Most High, it does have a physical benefit to it, but that's only because, that's the Creator. It was supposed to be. But when you're fasting, it should, I would say it shouldn't be for health only. Because for me, if that was the case, then I'd probably still, be in a weakened state with the other issues. But the fact that, I was actually trying to grow like my intellect, increase my relationship with Him, led me to, eventually, come into the truth with all the, getting all the lies and stuff out the way, being able to not be, easily deceived and, and things like that. So we can find the truth. There's going to be that. And that's why, we tell folks, especially even in dealing in commercial matters, you know what I'm saying? We tell folks, if you're going to, be here with TDOC, even though there's a benefit of on the commercial side, but it's about your spirit, man. When you seek the kingdom first, all those things is going to, it's going to come with it. Divine health, being able to walk, in the land and, not be oppressed by the enemy. All that comes with it. So, I'm going to say it should always start with your spirit, man, first. So if your focus is making your temple holy for the Most High, and that was my initial motivation, you can't go wrong getting closer to the Most High.
Deuteronomy 23, 21. And Numbers 30 and 2. Can someone get those? Deuteronomy 23, 21 and Numbers 30 and 2.
All right, someone go ahead and get Numbers 30 and 2. I got 23 and 21. Deuteronomy 23 and 21, and it reads, when thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy God, Yahweh, thou shalt not slack to pay it. For the Lord thy God, Yahweh, will surely require it of thee, and it will be sin in thee.
So if you say something out of your mouth that you're going to do it for the Most High, you got to keep it, or the Most High is going to judge you for that. He's going to judge you for that. Someone got the other?
Yeah, Numbers. Chapter 30, verse 2. If a man makes a vow to the Lord or swears an oath to bind himself by some agreement, he shall not break his word.
See, you can't break that word. So don't say, unless you're just doing it for worldly purposes, which, is okay. But whenever I fast, I do it for the Most High. And at the same time, it helps your health and it sharpens your mind. And it purifies your body, right? It helps get a lot of those parasites out. So the other thing is when you fast, good brother Terrence, you don't go and announce it to the whole damn world. In fact, you're supposed to try and keep a secret. And you don't go around, put a damn sad look on your face. Oh yeah, I'm fasting. Let everyone know. That's what the Pharisees do. Let's get Matthew 6 and 16. So you're supposed to do this secretly, man. Yeah, well, I'm fasting, brother. No. And certain things you can't do, man. You ain't supposed to go and have sex, man, if you're fasting. This is why you guys got to learn the Torah, man. You can't do anything that's considered will make you unclean if you're fasting for the Most High.
On Matthew 6 and 16. Moreover, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites, of a sad countenance.
Right, you're making a face, oh, damn, I'm fasting. Oh, man, I'll be glad when this is over. Go ahead.
For they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward.
Right, so you're supposed to do this, like, kind of privately. You don't want people to know that you're doing this. You're doing this for the Most High. So you see that, Terrence?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
So like you can help them glutton people.
What
Yeah,
was that,
but I'm
brother?
telling you, when y'all do this thing, and you all the way on the other side, you're not going to want to go back. Like, I have no regret to, having not to have to wear corrective lenses. I have no regret to finally growing some kind of beard finally after the age of 30. I ain't have no facial hair for 30 years, man. And after, start fasting and changing my diet based on, what's written about what we should be eating for meat, things, just start happening. You know what I'm saying? Pain, go away. You sleep better. You don't need as much sleep. You know what I'm saying? You don't. You can go to sleep. If if you ain't doing anything strenuous, you go to sleep for about 2 to 4 hours and really be all right. You sleep 6 hours, you want to get up, get to moving around. That's the things that I started noticing. It was about like a year and a half. Start dreaming better, sleeping better, dang on intellect growing. Now that intellect thing, I was, trying to get promoted on my Just Over Broke, and it just so the way the timing happened, it just everything just worked out. Reading, doing math, doing the research, being able to finish a book in a day, that's like a big deal. And everybody,
Man, you got Negroes, Salakia, man, you got Negroes that haven't read a book over the past year. So that's excellent.
Crazy.
That's a major deal.
It's crazy, man. You got to, man. And when I'm saying books, not just like the worldly ones, because actually I stopped reading fiction. So everything I do is is historical and it's with a purpose. So I'm not saying I only read the Bible, but so I mean there's other things out there like the Kahan put out there like the Art of War. You know what I'm saying? And then learning other languages. Speaking in tongues don't mean that you're babbling as it's written. That means you're speaking other languages. Real languages that mean real things. Khan, add that to the list.
When the world was black.
You know what I'm saying?
Even though we know that's a misnomer, the name black.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Real.
But we got to speak to them in a
understand
language they can understand.
Right.
So it's like, when you guys get on the other side, and I've put out there, about retaining your strength. That's like, that's huge. To retain your strength as a man that's not strong, you don't feel like you a man. And then I'm gonna tell you something else. Being gluttonous and
it affects you sexually. And I don't want to take it there. It affects you
that's
sexually.
exactly what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
It messes with you in the bedroom.
Yeah, penis start going up in your stomach.
Causes
you see what I'm saying? Yeah.
And then pushing. Unfortunately, your ribs gonna have to deal with that. But pushing
because it deals with blood flow.
Yep. You need your capillaries free and clear. Believe it or not, the processes in your body aren't as complex as the way modern science try to make it be. It's real simple. You unclog things are going to flow and it's going to work the way it's supposed to. You eat stuff that you ain't supposed to, it clogs up your arteries. Things are not going to work. You're not going to be able to think. You're responsive, your reactive times, whether you're traveling on the road or whether you're in a high stress situation, it goes out the door. What it look like you going through a high stress situation, you end up having a heart attack, and then your kids looking at you and your wife looking at you like, like you crazy. Someone pulls out a gun and then you just drop dead. That ain't no man. That is not. That is weak as hell. And
hey brother Joanna, you got anything, King?
I wanted to ask about like when you like other like grains, like is that good for you too? Like I use like splint, or is that still like a carb?
What was that?
Like other grains, like does that?
Oh
still
yeah. No, it's good. I mean, you got to have carbs, right? Like, I mean, so the whole theories about not taking carbs, that's not, because you got to have carbs, man, for your energy and all of that. You got to have, you got to have fat. You got to have a percentage of fat. You just want the healthy ones. So, I mean, you want to eat like me, I do the like quinoa. You see what I'm saying? Some people call it quinoa. I call it canola. I pretty much do that whole Dr. Sebi's diet, right? But you don't have to live off of that, right? But your body has to have carbs, and so if it doesn't, you got to have something from every major group, but there's certain percentage that you have, and it's the type of carbs that you're actually allowed to come into your body. You kind of just want to stay away from a lot of simple sugars, like too many starch. Like a lot of people that consume a lot of starches, they'll end up with some kind of kidney disease, right? And if you already have kidney disease, you want to stay away from starches. It's going to make it worse. Step right there. Who's over?
Nah, that's the wrong side, Mikael. We got to see the nutrition facts and the ingredients. Oh no, that's yeah. Yeah, what's in those ingredients?
Well, what do you got right there?
That's a good title though. Seeds of change. Seeds of change.
Yeah. So we can't tell people to become vegan because that's not scriptural, but I would recommend it, right? Because you're gonna feel better, you're gonna feel a lot lighter, you're gonna see a lot of difference in your body. I mean, like you'll just see noticeable changes. Like, even when you utilize the latrine, if you will, and that's a military term for people that don't understand a marine term. Even when you utilize a latrine, you don't have that foul odor like a meat eater does. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Totally different. Your body's just totally different, man.
Now,
I agree. I'm a part-time vegan.
Yeah, and your body heals a lot quicker. It'll heal a lot quicker. And your immune system builds up stronger. Because a lot of those red meats, they have like all these harmful like hormones in them now, man. And so
Like you put out,
you are what you eat.
you put out before is a lot of sugar in the other meats.
Yeah.
The meats.
So when you
why don't we read?
Well, we can't tell you to be vegan.
What was that?
Until you eat clean.
The meats.
What was
And,
that, brother?
The meats that we're allowed to eat.
Yeah, you can eat them, but I'm just saying, in this day and age, the reason that we're trying to suggest people to stay away from it is because they're injecting these meats with hormones. Many of them are processed. You know what I mean? Some of them are like, grown on a farm, and people think that's the same thing as actually being organic when it's not. They grow something on a damn farm, they inject it with something. You see what I'm saying? They're growing it really fast. I remember I was like traveling through Texas, man, and I was passing like this huge, like I was on 40, this huge thing of cattle. I mean, like thousands of them, just all stuffed up, and they stink. Like I could smell it like probably a mile before I got there, man. And just these cattle just stored up against each other, man. And so they caught that cow disease. And so I could see why it spread through so many cows like that fast. And so, you know, when you eat this meat, you know, you're putting yourself at risk for stuff like that. And often when they tell you about these diseases that break out in this meat, it's already on the shelf. So people get affected with it. They get infected with it.
Con, it's like that right outside of Jacksonville, North Carolina. They got those chicken plants, and I mean, it's terrible, terrible. And a chicken is ready for processing in like 2 months, 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, that's not good for anybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can't tell you to eat vegan. I use the term vegan for myself because that's just the closest thing based on what's written that, you know, when we originally put up here on it, set up by the Most High. But there are things that vegans eat that I choose not to eat because, you know, because I know better. I know different.
Yeah, I don't do that whole soy thing. I stay away from that. The vegans that do that, I stay away from that. Soy have a tendency to make men effeminate.
Yep.
You may not believe that, but you know,
they use that in prison.
Emotionally unstable, and you know, you start growing man boobs, and you get enough soy, you'll start seeping out. You start seeping out of your nipples. It happens. Yeah, I mean, you can see it. You can see it in the young boys today, and that's a lot of what's in the soy product, and they've mingled the soy, different types of soy so much. It's best to just, you know, unless you're growing it yourself, just to stay away from it altogether because of the type of protein that it is, or so-called protein, I'm going to say.
Yo, since we on that topic, Salakia, but those strawberries I put in the group chat, you know, this week, I was showing you how they were injected. I was like, bro, there's no way those are real. And I was showing you the opposite of the ones that are homegrown in the garden. And this is why I stay away from certain fruits that aren't seeded. So it's like, yeah,
I don't eat seedless foods either. That's the other thing. Like if it doesn't have seeds in it, I don't get it. Going to the supermarket now, it's difficult to find grapes that have seeds in them.
Con, they almost don't exist on the commercial side. You got to go to like a flea market or a farm or something like that. It is difficult. Hey, but we're talking about your life. We're talking about the temple of Most High, and even though it may be difficult, it is not impossible. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. It's still no excuse. It might. I mean, it's hard, but hey, we're made to overcome anyway. Yeah. So you just gotta do your diligence. Because I've yet to see one person on their deathbed with a smile on their face from cancer. It's awesome. I'm sure glad I had that steak. It hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Well, folks be calling me up, you know, hey, you know, I got this issue, you know, what can I take? And, you know, I'll let them know, but I tell them it's only going to be temporary because you still, you know, putting trash in your body.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, especially, I mean, if we got regular people like this, majority of folks here like this in the world, really, what do we have to look up to if somebody's in leadership in the same fashion with the same sickness? Because I guarantee you, if someone ends up passing, and I've seen this happen firsthand, they don't even tell you what they passed from. Oh, natural causes. BS. What was it? They just try to cover it up. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, you know, bringing it out to the congregation so that everybody can learn from it. And that thing infuriated me. It angered me a lot. You know, and they just going against the, you know, the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Because I was just, you know, trying to, you know, push them in the right direction. But nope. No, you ain't got to worry about that. The family's keeping that secret. That's because it's something to hide. You know, they got judged by the Most High. And, you know, sweet as they are, or, you know, as nice as, you know, they've been and what they did, you know, a lie is a lie. And, you know, they had to lay in that. I mean, it's sad, but, you know, it happened. But we need to, I mean, we don't have to be like that. Yes, everybody dies, but we do not have to rush it. And also being gluttonous, you know, I think we mentioned earlier about the parasites and the bad bacteria. That stuff influences your judgment. So you're not even making a decision of a clear mind. But for you to have knowledge that there's stuff in animal flesh that's influencing your mind to do the wrong thing, and you purposely continue to do that, then you deserve what you get.
Yeah, I don't. I see something in the chat room, brother Jordan. I don't think, like, you know, someone being overweight really affects their mental intellect that much, because I mean, you got people that's overweight, and you know, as you're saying, they're pretty highly intelligent. But I just know that fasting, it really sharpens your senses.
Well, not necessarily your mental intellect. Maybe I misspoke, but
No, something responding to someone in the room on YouTube. He was like, "What's the quickest way to get sharp?"
Than it being a restaurant, it is a movie.
What is that? Who's that?
Salaki, that was someone in the background of my computer. I had to find out what the world that was. I got it out. But I was trying to talk, and then it was still playing.
I'm like, yo, who's this, man?
But it influences your
alphabet boys, man.
But it influences your decision making as far as you having those cravings. Right. Naturally, whatever you like, you're going to be motivated toward that. So this just makes it puts more of a stumbling block for you to overcome when you're trying to get closer to the Most High and do the right thing. So if you're going to and I tell my son this and my other seed this all the time, you make enough mistakes trying to do the right thing, while when you have the knowledge of what's right, still purposely do the wrong thing. But hey, that's all I got.
How about keto? Anyone doing keto or interested in keto? The keto diet, mucus, and all of that stuff, the mucus. We're talking about the fungus, Dr. Sebi's diets, the many, many, many remedies and cures that he has for, if you don't want to eat, you can drink teas. There's different ways to approach it. But I know one thing, as far as the anabolic and catabolic body types, there is also a consistency in your diet. Now, for me personally, that's where I'm struggling. I haven't come out with, I'm in a transitional space. As part of what attracted me to TDOC is because I see it like this is the Special Forces outpost to the main Israelite civilian population. And I know that leadership comes from being born in the battlefield, because this commercial warfare is all encompassing. It's also what you put in your body. The enemy has a complete campaign he's working to subvert and destroy the people, and it's a full spectrum. It's every angle of approach, every angle of attack. So I know that it's very important to have that part of our lives under control and taking heed and duly noted. But my main issue for now is just really establishing or reestablishing, after coming out of a lengthy term of custodial detainment in their credit facility, is just really getting what my life is. Because I'll tell you right now, I'll be seeing parole on the 27th this month. And I told them I wanted to set off discharge, settle, and close any open accounts. But that also means once I do, because I'm going to accept for value using my private exemption, and see how they're going to treat that. And they don't know that I'm actually a creditor. So that's going to be interesting and entertaining. But as I transition after the 27th, after the day after my birthday, I'm going to be moving out to bigger and better things, because as far as I've learned, they can't challenge the accepted for value. And I'm not in a corporate ward status, because after that, I plan to send out my 2848 so I can actually control my life. Because right now I've been living at the spot they put everybody in, and I don't even eat very often. Sometimes I eat 2 meals. Most times I just eat one. And I know your body can go into what is called a survival mode. So you pack on calories, trying to maintain, not knowing when the next time you'll get food. So that's like being out in combat. And this is how these people have, their new reentry people living. So all of this information is literally life changing. And for all those dissenters and people like the one earlier, they're talking against what this is. Nobody else, nowhere else that I've known of, is really dealing with the full triune man or woman. Nobody's doing that, and it's only happening here with TDOC. So I said I'll make sure I step out of my comfort zone, because I've lost weight before. I've lost it twice already. I'm not actually working on third, but I hadn't done this while I was in society. But now that I'm in society, off my second time being incarcerated due to a corruption of the state dissenters and those actors, malfeasant actors, I'm finally able to really gauge what I want out of my life. So this has been a very beneficial Shabbat for me. I'm very grateful again. Just listening to the solutions, the remedies, of how to live and what type of diet I want. Because I know I don't like the crap. You just feel bad. You feel terrible when you eat like this stuff that's so greasy. Every time, like, I would have things, I'd be like, man, I don't want to eat this because I'm coughing. I'm coughing right after the meal. And then, there's phlegm right after the meal. So, it's not good for you. And, I just love to see the brothers that there are people, men, copper complected, melanated men and women like, that look like me who want to do something. So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah. So, if we're going to actually fry foods, we should actually use grapeseed oil. And there's a lot of people, damn, my screen froze again. There's a lot of people that, they fry foods and they try to, heat, olive oil. That's not a good thing, man. That's Esau's way of doing things. Like when you heat olive oil, it kind of robs it of its nutrients. So we definitely shouldn't use that, those vegetable oils and all of that. We should stay away from that kind of stuff. If we're gonna heat oil, it should be the grapeseed oil that we're heating. If you want to use olive oil, you should try and sprinkle some of that over your salads or put it in the food or what have you. But the heated oil should actually be the grapeseed oil, because once olive oil gets heated, it's thought to rob it of its nutrients, and it's kind of like defeating its purposes. But I try and stay away from fried foods. And again, if I do, I'll just put like a tab of it in the pan, just so it doesn't stick to the pan or what have you. But yeah, man, fried foods, that's one of the Achilles heels of our communities, is eating a lot of fried foods. Our people love that. And that's something that we didn't do. When you go back and look at our culture, that there is no history of us eating fried foods. We learned that. We learned that on the plantations. Our forefathers learned that on the plantations, because we didn't used to fry foods. That's actually a new thing. It's actually been taught to us. We didn't cook out. We didn't prepare our foods like that. That nonsense were actually learned on the plantation, just like eating a pig. That totally goes against our culture, man. We learned that on plantations.
Yeah, that soul food they call nowadays, that's not real soul food. That's slave food. The real
Right.
soul, vegetables and everything, the real food that's healing our body and our mind and our soul.
Right.
So that food that they eat at the Passovers and all of that stuff, those feasts at One West, is basically they're eating the slave foods with the.
No. I mean, it's mandatory for Israelites to eat. Like, that's the only time I'll try and eat like lamb, because the Most High commanded us to do that. you know, consistently forever. You got a lot of people to say we don't have to do that because we're in captivity. But when you read in the book of Exodus, you know, we do this throughout our generations, the Passover. But I'm saying it tells us specifically what we're supposed to consume at the Passover. And when men eat the Passover, if you read the scriptures, it tells you to eat it in haste, standing, you know, with your boots on and so on and so forth. But I'm saying you have men over there be eating potato salad, all these extra damn things. They bring in damn biscuits and, but none of, you know what I mean? The Passover, you supposed to pretty much unleavened bread, a little bit of wine, some bitter herbs, and some dates. That's pretty much it. You got Negroes in there with potato salad, mashed potatoes, and sweet potatoes, and
overdoing it.
all of these things that you're not supposed to have, man. That's not keeping the Lord's Passover. That's where that niggerism comes in at. You see what I'm saying? They done turned the Lord's Passover into a nigger fest, and with a bunch of niggerettes and so on and so forth attending to them Passover. They turned it into a party, man. It's supposed to be a memorial of us coming out of Egypt. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. It's a memorial reminding us of when we was actually in captivity in Egypt, and the Lord freed us, and he killed all of the firstborns in Egypt, but spared the Israelites that marked their door with lamb's blood. That's what the lamb is symbolic of. Because the death angel, when he was coming around, every house that had their door marked with lamb's blood, the angel of death passed over that house. That's why it's called the Passover. And he went and killed all of the Egyptian children. But hey, people don't want to do it anymore. They done turned it into Easter. That's what Easter really supposed to be. It's supposed to be the Passover. So they worshiping the god Estar. Our people are just lost, man, following this world. And matter of fact, yesterday was so-called Valentine's Day. I'm so out of touch with their hell of a days. I don't even know when they come anymore. And you know Jake was sending flowers and all of that. And so when you look into the history of that, man, look Terrence smiling. Hopefully you ain't sending no damn flowers, man. Because I'm gonna hit you something, man. The origin behind that, man, is homosexuality. When you look at the man Claudius, he was literally in love with this guy that was in a relationship with a female. And so when the guy, he kept sending the guy invitations and so on and so forth. And so when the guy went and yielded to it, what happened is he ordered that man to be murdered, and he had that man's heart castrated, and he sent it to that woman on February the 14th. That's why you guys eat chocolate hearts. It's symbolic to that man's heart being castrated and sent into that female in a box. That's what you're celebrating, man. So you don't even know what you're doing, man. But that's what Esau be having our people do, man. They call it Valentine's Day.
It seems that every one of these holidays that they have has some really dark, sinister, wicked background. Every single
I
don't think there is one that doesn't have that.
Yep. Someone Google Claudius and Valentine's Day. They might have it on here. I don't know, man. You'll see I'm not lying. I have that in my book, The Real Hebrew Israel. For Saint Valentine. He's supposed to be a patriot saint. He wasn't even. That's what that heart is symbolic to, man. Our people don't even know what they be celebrating. Then Esau, he'll lie about it. And you got, and you got a lot of these Eves, they'll get mad with their husband if they don't go out and get them chocolate and candy and all of this and all these flowers. You don't celebrate that garbage, man. Anyone else got anything, man? Don't put your flowers away now, man. Sorry, you already done it.
How about the building? When will we talk about building in the community again? I found a resource that I wanted to share.
Yeah. We got to do that. Like kind of off. Not on YouTube. Like through a private message, man.
I have a link that I'll send you in the community chat.
Yeah, we got to.
Not on YouTube, but in Zoom.
We got to get
in the
together on
Zoom
that.
chat.
There's a lot of brothers not even on the call today, man. Yeah.
I noticed.
Yeah. I'm not surprised though, man. Like the brother, what was the brother that we talked to, Yashabam? I haven't seen him on any of the calls. Some of the people go. I don't even know what's going on with the guy, David, man. See, he's going through it. But what was the guy's name that called, say he wanted to be a creditor and I was gonna give him a discount, and then the dude didn't even donate. And he's telling me not to remove him from the calls, but he's not even showing up at the calls.
Out of Texas.
Yeah, I don't even see him on YouTube, man. I don't know what's going on. I mean, these people be having funny spirits on them, man. Funny style.
And then out.
Yeah, but we're working on that. I mean,
Turn the light.
truth is, Mikiel, the only people that's really been making, I guess tights towards that is me, Yashabum, and Richard. Yeah. And what about the brother that was on yesterday? That's what I wanted to ask you, Yashabum, because he was talking. I'm not much of a talker, right? People could get on here and say, "Oh, kind of fancy, yeah, I could do this." I wanted to reach out to that brother to see if he had those resources that he was saying. Because of our people, they love to George at. I'm not saying that's the case with him. Remember the brother that was on last night? That came on and first started talking?
I can.
Yeah. He talking about he had access that he could kind of put us on, like a television and something like that. Okay, well, let's access that because we need to spread around the world.
Well, yeah, I think he did. He did put it in the room.
Yeah, he put his email in there, but not a phone number.
Kind of. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back on yesterday's video when he was accidentally sharing the screen and get that.
Yeah, I mean, I got his email and a text. Shah sent it to me, but there was no phone number there. Yeah. So yeah. We do need to let's try to schedule some sort of meeting, man, for tomorrow, man. About building and we also got to discuss the Passover. The Passover is coming up in April, so we got to discuss where we're gonna have the Passover at. Got to get the Passover. If anyone knows how to grill and so on and so forth. I would kind of suggest again, like Atlanta seems like the middle area for everyone because you got brothers in Texas. You got pretty much people all over. Where's the brother Williams from? He's way up.
He's in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Joe. I spoke to Joe. Where's Joe located? He's in Greenville, North Carolina.
Who?
Joe Diggs.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaw's in North Carolina. But he's in Raleigh. That's probably like maybe 2 hours away, something like that. Maybe 3.
Shaw, you in Charlotte, ain't you? Or around Charlotte?
He's around the Raleigh area. Kind of fluctuate between that and B-Move.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he in Durham. You in Durham.
Yeah, close to yeah.
Okay.
So Shaw's in Durham or Raleigh?
Durham.
I'm in Raleigh, Durham.
Yeah, Raleigh, right? Raleigh. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I thought Raleigh, man. Yeah, Durham, is, depending on where, that could be like 20, 30 minutes away. You could call it Raleigh, damn. I'm familiar with both of them. Very familiar. And I've been through Greenville a lot too, man.
So, yeah. What's the space?
So yeah, but we got to come up with like a like a building for the Passover, and the date to have the Passover, and probably we probably should consider like if people are going to come there for it, talking to a hotel to see how many people's actually going to show up, so we could reserve those rooms.
What about the Airbnb?
That's what we're trying to get for ourselves, man. You've been out of the net, man. We're trying to get our own Airbnb, man.
That's what I'm. Oh, but you want to do a hotel?
Oh, you in Georgia, right?
I'm in Florida.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying, but we want to do a hotel. What I'm saying, brother, is that we're trying to get our own Airbnb. But yeah, I mean, if that works out, we'll do an Airbnb like over there. If we could get it for a good deal. But we're working on our own. That's what Mickey I was talking about. What about the property or whatever.
So I know that deal. I've been in contact with the manager over at the Hampton about where we usually have, where we've had the last couple seminars at. So, but we would need to basically RSVP, because the amount of rooms that we use is going to dictate, the price. So the more participation, the better. So I know at 10 rooms, it's like 38 a night, and it's not really that bad. It's actually, pretty decent over
there. Yeah.
At the Hampton. But yeah, so tomorrow, it could be tomorrow about the same time. I should be done around 2.
I mean, it could be tomorrow night or something like that. Don't really matter.
Okay.
We reach out to some. We'll do it on Zoom. We just won't run it on YouTube.
Gone.
Yeah.
There are multiple ways to do what you're proposing. So I just want us to at least have some ideas how we want to start this, and what contribution you would like to see from me, and we'll go from there.
Kind of sound like a brother that I got off the phone with a couple days ago, asking what we need. We just need folks in the right spirit. You give how the Most High leads you.
Yeah. We'll get the fiat, believe it or not, man.
Yeah.
We'll get the fiat. I mean,
that's really what I'm asking, because that's all they want. So as long as we can handle that, there is no sky's limit. There is no limit. It's just getting it done, because I want to see something real happen. I want to build for the Lord, and then I know that He's directing this, and I just want to see to it that it gets done. And it's not just ideas. No reason creditors should have any obstruction,
right?
Because they're used to dealing with debtors, but they need to know a creditor knows how to deal with themselves and conduct business.
Right.
That's how I'm coming with it.
Yeah, there was a brother that wanted your information, man, but I wanted to check with you before I gave it to him. The brother Abraham that was that had done a call. He was like how you was building and so on and so forth. So last night after the call, he asked me, I have your info? And I told him, but I wanted to check with you before I gave it to him, man.
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, all in the leading of Yahweh. That's how I want
it. Yeah. So I'll text him your number. Let him know, man.
I'm gonna put this out here in closing, because I did call the new brothers, the TDOC. So we do have some spiritual insight, discernment, and understand that folks are going to be led and drawn to TDOC as we continue to grow and have success, amongst building a nation, and also in dealing with our oppressor. But let me reiterate that this is a mindset. All right. This is a lifestyle. We are real as real could come. It's coming from the top on down. We're as real can come, and if you seeking, remedy in anything in your life, first, seek, the Most High. So if your spirit is right, you're going to get what you come for. But if you need to be corrected, that's going to happen in just the same. And it may not sound pretty. I'm going to tell you it's not going to sound pretty, but it was necessary for you to make the change, for you to fall in line with the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High.
Salaki, did you guys see that guy that I carbon copied you on this morning that
Yeah.
cursed me out? See that damn demon?
Man.
Now, if you read, and I get emails like that quite frequently, and that shows you how much hate. Debtors love to hate, man. Now, so if you read the top of the message, the brother started off by, oh yeah, man, I really appreciate what you're doing. So when people say that to me, it kind of like goes in one ear and just right out of the other, because I'm going to study you and watch you and see how you move, right? So the brother was saying, yeah, I appreciate everything that you've done. I just got this problem. I'm dealing with a contempt charge and child support, right? And I don't want to put his name out. I don't want to make him pop. And he trying to threaten me. I'm going to put a video telling people how you just trying to rip people off. Okay, well, roger that. Take a number and get online, Negro. You think you'll be the first to do that? You see what I'm saying? And so, but he's telling me all this good stuff. Then I responded. I just saw his email this morning, so I responded. Like with the typical, you know, you make a donation, I'll talk to you for coaching. When I responded with that, this nigga sends back a message, nigga, and he said it like this, nigga, the energy that you use to send me that message to donate, you could have gave me the answer with that.
God,
it's like someone that wants something for nothing.
You just
from that,
yeah. We get two of us actually responded back to him, Kahan, and he has not since had anything more to add, because I let him know a couple facts, and I knew he was going to be shut down after that. But I believe a sister also replied to him, letting him know that both genders in the community, there's no issue with what you have been led to do, because he has unfounded claims, and I asked him to answer to them, and he can't. There's what can he say but his opinion? And we just simply said to him, listen, it's okay to be, a doubting Thomas, and you can have your opinion and you can disagree. But as far as we're concerned, there is no matter. There is no controversy. There is no argument. There is no concern.
Right, but how he just went from hot to cold was just like, wow. But it happens quite frequently. And at the same time, what's astonishing, man, at the same time that this, because I just blocked him. When he came back with the all capital letters, when he started typing it, I didn't even read all of it, man. I just block. I'm not even giving, because that's polemics. That's a debtor's mentality, right? So he want to argue. That's the mentality of a debtor. So I'll just take the argument away. I'm going to conditionally accept this by blocking you, because he's making me an offer to argue. I'm not going to accept that offer. I'll just block him. So I go over to Facebook. There's another one. There's this long barrage of messages. Yeah, man, I just wanted to talk to you about it. I'm like, who are you, man? I don't even know you. Like this other dude, Just Bitch, whatever his name. What was his name? Just Bitch. You know what I mean? I don't know what his name was. I think that's the name that he had there. You see what I'm saying? That's the name that he had there, I think. Unless I missaw the screen.
No, it's close. You right around in there. You right around.
I mean, well, that's what it should have been. Yeah, I mean,
because he even insulted the congregation. So, like, does he think that he's a dummy, like one of us? I'm just like, man, this guy is way off. There's no testimonies. There's plenty of testimonies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hate. It's coming from a very hateful place. Because if he went to look at the channel, he would have seen there's been testimonies over the years. And so, but it's good to have haters like that, man. It makes you appreciate the good people. And you could use them for that energy, because it takes energy to hate, man. And so energy is never wasted, right? We could transform that energy and use it for something positive. Energy never used the universe, man. You see what I'm saying? He's just putting out negative energy because that's where he is right now. He's in a very young, a low place. And he wants to take that out on us. You see what I'm saying? Because he can't. How you gonna come for help and then have a list of demands with that? You coming for help, and I never anticipated the brother responding like that. Nigga, you could have responded with an answer instead of, it's a typical thing I send everyone. Well, here's a link for donation. You make a donation, I call you on the phone. Otherwise, my time, and sometimes people send me long emails, man, and want me to read all of that. And they think I only have that email to read, man. Sometimes it takes me days to get through the emails, man. Like his email, he sent that a few days ago. I was just getting to that one, man. And so it'd be like that. And people on that, but I just carbon copy you guys so you can see what I deal with on a daily basis. And he's not an isolated incident. Sometimes I just go through and block him. If I start seeing negative language, yeah, man, I'm gonna tell people about you. Roger that. You're entitled to that. Okay. Next, just take a number and get online, man, because I'm not dealing with that. Then at the same time, there was some guy on Facebook saying a similar thing, man, same kind of thing. But yeah, man, even Celicia was saying, yo, he was evil. I guess he said something to her. I don't know if she's still in the call, but she's like, he's wicked. So I'm not surprised, man.
It's desperate out there. It's very desperate out there because, you know, people are not walking in step with Yahweh. And I one of the things that I shared was a lot of much of what you preach, it goes over the intellect, it goes over the head of we will say the common quote unquote man in their spiritual condition, because it's going beyond the intellect. It's from a divine place of intervention. So who is to blame? Who's to blame?
Yeah, man, we're really, you know, the truth, we're really trying to put together a community, a righteous people where there's no wickedness. And I mean, we can't have that because that's going to bring down the whole community, man. If you got one wicked person running around and you letting that go unchecked, like a lot of these Israelites are doing, it's going to ruin the entire community. That germ is going to spread. It's like putting it against another apple. You leave that apple there for a few days, now so-and-so got that same problem. He been talking to him. And we have people, we already dealt with people like that. They try and go and divide brothers against each other. So-and-so said this. And, nope, I don't even want to talk to him anymore.
And that's crazy.
He's good. You guys can deal with him, but I don't even want to talk to him anymore. You see what I'm saying? Once you cross me, I'm showing you love. You know what I mean? We giving you fiat, but you got an attitude. You came to us for fiat, but you got an attitude. You can cop an attitude. Nah, man, what do you mean it doesn't involve me? No, brother, it's been settled already. Like, what do you mean it doesn't involve me? My name was mentioned. Nick, well, you had to come to us to borrow fiat. So you see what I'm saying? We showed you love. And then want us to discuss it with other members. That's how you know something's wrong, man. So you can't say, check this out, right? You can't say there's true brotherhood or sisterhood when you feel like you got to do something in private and keep it from your brothers. Obviously, they didn't read that Commando's Creed. You see what I'm saying? You couldn't have. You couldn't have if you want to do things in secret. And if your brother is going to like make mockery of you because you might be in a needy situation, at some point, any of us could be in that situation. You see what I'm saying? So a true brother is not going to make mockery of you in that. Like, all right, brother, I don't have it. Well, let's call so-and-so and see if he have it. Or let's take it to the council and you know, we'll deal with it. You see what I'm saying? That's how true brotherhood is supposed to work. That's how it's supposed to work, man. And that's what we're trying to set up. Someone get arrested, like my man, Terrence, that should have never happened that way. I honestly thought he had just, hey, I'm not interested in that. Because, you know, as me and Shaw was talking about this morning, some people last 2-3 weeks, they hear something they don't want to hear, they gone. Don't hear from them anymore. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you too righteous. No, we just trying to live by the Bible. So I guess the Most High is too righteous. You see what I'm saying? But in this situation with Terrence C, man, it should have never happened like that. We should have at least known, hey, man, he got arrested. So we could, because I'm going to tell you something, man. I'm going to tell you a secret. If you're in a situation and it looks like you have no support, these courts will ravish you, man. They will destroy you. They got to know that you have a support system. If you got people calling, check this out, right? Terrence get arrested. found out he's arrested. I tell him, man, well, I'm gonna call, you're gonna call. If you got 30 people calling, you don't think well, this guy has a strong support system. How many more is there? You see what I'm saying? But if you just they take you to a damn star chamber. No, because Terrence, he just popped up like a damn leprechaun. I'm like, who the hell is this? Well, oh, this is damn, brother. I'm glad to see you back. Glad to know you're okay. Then he told us that, hey, man, I had gotten back. I didn't know, man. I thought he had went. Case in point, let me tell you something else, man. I remember the good brother, I don't want to say his name, but those of you that's been in the camp for a minute, remember the brother that got his car scratched up by his wife?
Con.
Somehow his wife got my email. That's another email I read this morning. She was telling me to take the video down because he done a lot of wicked stuff to her, like that we don't know about, right? So the only thing I know, I was like, well, the only thing I know, sis, is that you scratched that man's car up, and if that was me, I would have had you arrested. And she wasn't even listening. She was like, well, you can't have me arrested because where his is mine. So I pulled the statue and I showed her the statue. If he knew the law, he could have you arrested for destruction of private property. You see what I'm saying? You destroyed his property. You're saying what's his is yours, but that's his car. That car is in his name. And she damaged that's probably like $1,500, maybe $2,000 paint job. It was a Cadillac. And she scratched it up on all sides. Then you're gonna message me saying, hey, can you tell whoever put that video up today? I didn't even know who she was in the beginning. But what I do know, he's disappeared. So putting two and two together, how in the hell did she get my information? You see what I'm saying? Man, this nigga went back over there, man. This nigga, he had to go back over there and give her this. You think what I'm saying? And so he don't want to show his face. Now he got her doing it.
Hey, that's his bed. He gonna have to lay in it. He gonna learn the hard way.
Yeah. After that, man, come on, man. Because how would she get my information? How did she even know when she stumbled on this channel and just mysteriously, oh, well, that's the guy that put up the video.
Nah, they be trying to hide your channel, so I already know they ain't go down like that.
Right. Especially that channel. Especially that channel, a spokesman for men.
Yep.
I rarely even go over there. So yeah, man. I mean, that's just the guilt cutting her. I was like, well, it's not coming down. And she just started talking about all of the bad things that he did. I could have said you stole his damn credit card and ran that up. You see what I'm saying? I didn't, man. I just let it go. It's like, yo, we haven't talked to the brother anymore. What has that been? A couple months?
More than that.
Yeah, he just dropped off, just fell off the planet, man. That's how brothers be doing, man. And that's the danger of a damn weak beta male. And he probably didn't like the video I put out, man. Because I'll call a square square. The dude's a beta male. How in the hell you let her scratch your car, you still hitting her off with bread and all of that? And I told him, yo, man, you can't stay there because she's gonna find out where you are and she'll probably try and do something to your car. How do I know? I've been there already, man. I've been through that. I'm dealing with a borderline personality, man. That's what it is, man. Some got to learn the hard way every time. You know what happened? That sickness, he's become a codependent. That's the only way you'll go back around someone like that. You become a codependent. When you're around someone that has a personality disorder, if you remain too long and don't take yourself away from it, you become a codependent. It's like you become sick because you pick up those characteristics. So you got to walk away from that, man. You got to be able to walk away from that, man. That's a dangerous situation right there. Again, man, a lot of people that came through here, man, and fell off, man. When things don't really go how they would actually desire it to go.
Yeah, and if you in any leadership position, but especially in dealing with a bishop or something, I don't know.
I'm hearing something.
Yeah, I keep hearing something also in the background.
But it's best if you're caught up and, like in your emotion, in some kind of sin, just step down, man. Just for the sake of the nation. Have you ever found yourself in a position where you're leading people and you see that yourself, you're not right, and on more than one occasion, you're not actively getting right, but the Belgian or whatever that desire or temptation is, just step down for the sake of the nation. Just step down.
Come.
I got it.
Come. Yep. Yeah, and when you start to fall back from the brethren, you start to cling to yourself, and you always under your woman, man, you're gonna start to pick up that damn feminine energy, man. You can't be always under your woman, man. Especially if your woman's not right, she'll put demons on you. So you gotta make sure she's in the right spirit. And you're supposed to congregate with other brothers, so if something's wrong, they can tell you, you're going off. But if you're hanging by yourself, no one's gonna tell you that. That's how you know when a man start henpecking, he start, I can't come today, man. Don't show up. Like a lot of brothers don't show up, man. They start doing worldly things. Like, like I was saying, and I call people out. That's why they don't like me, man. But I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to try and, get people to see their wrongs like Hamashiach did. But most people didn't, that Hamashiach called out, they didn't like him, but he was telling the truth. How come they didn't like him? Because he kept telling the truth on it. And when you tell the truth and someone is filled with pride, man, they don't like that thing. They hate you for that. But you got to tell the truth, man. And the truth doesn't need any apology. Apologize to me. Nope. Stop sinning. So that's what it is, man. Anyone else got anything? And the most important thing, man, is we got to try and keep these laws. If you look at the history of the nation of Israel, every time in the scriptures, when we would start keeping the laws, the Most High would bring us down and let the surrounding nations rule over us. Each time we start keeping the laws, he will raise us back up. So if you're doing things like violating the Shabbat, you out there, you do buying and selling on the Shabbat, that's off, man. We're not supposed to be doing that. We've done classes on the Shabbat. Go back and check out some of the videos. If you're a sister and you still want to, wear pants, and someone get Deuteronomy 22 verse 5, and you think you could justify that in the eyes of the Lord, that power, that's off. No matter how righteous you think you are, you're wasting your time. You're talking about you're not ready yet. When the Lord tells you to do something, you are to do it. You want to wear tight fitting pants. When women attract men on those low principles, you always attract the wrong kind of man. Because a man that wants to settle down, he's not going to want to be with no woman like that. If he's a righteous man, he's not going to want to have to deal with that, man. Walking around in tight jeans. And the more that women dress like that, the more masculine energy that you take on when you start to do things like that. Because pants were actually designed for the Levitical priesthood. When you look at it.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto Yahweh our God.
Right. But now let's see who pants, because when pants was first made, they were actually called breeches. Even this even goes for Edomites. Even their women didn't wear pants. When you look at ancient societies, you see what I'm saying? So breeches was first designed for men. That's why when a lot of women put it on, she take on all this masculine energy. Still acting more masculine. So when women get jobs like working on a police department, jobs where she's a janitor, where she's a plumber, those are primary jobs that was actually primarily for men. And so when women start doing these things, she starts to take on more and more masculine energy. And eventually she don't understand the deep psychological effect that it may have on her home. So that it starts causing problems within the home. Because she thought, hey, I wear, he can't say he wear the pants because she's wearing pants also. Where do you think that that aphorism come from? I wear the pants around here. It's because the men will wear the pants and the men was in charge of their household. So the scriptures say that a woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man. There's certain tops that's designed for men. Women put it on, she starts acting more masculine. The Lord say it's an abomination, meaning it's an unclean thing to the Lord, that power. Let's get Exodus 28 and 42. Linen breeches was initially designed for the Levitical priesthood. The word breeches is pants. Now people started wearing this stuff, man.
And before we go on that scripture, I just really want to say thank you for the topic today on gluttony, because whether I was eating healthy or not, I was still overeating, and overcoming that, and actually even this topic today, it helped me even more, like realizing this was no mistake. It came out for a reason. So, it's really helped out a lot, because man, I was heading down the path of destruction, man. It's eating and eating for no reason, filling the void instead of putting your who first,
Yeah, you got to control it, man. I mean, sometimes, I'm pretty sure all of us are guilty of that. But you know what? The next time you feel that, I'm gonna tell you this, man. It's hard to overeat with vegetables, right? I mean, I don't mean the grains and all of that, but you got to do a lot of eating to like overeat with the green vegetables, because the calories are so low in those, right? Compared to like meats and all of that. But the next time you get the urge to eat, do some push-ups. You see what I'm saying? Do some
Right.
do something. You know what I mean? Do something. Go and pray. You know what I mean? Control it. And so once you start to control that, you're gonna realize, hey, I can control this day, right? Because you're supposed to be in control of your body, right? The body is what causes us to sin, right? So if your mind is the flesh, the body is the flesh, it's the body that's like yearning these things, right? Because if we're taken outside of the body, then we're not going to sin anymore. It's the body, it's the male member. You know what I mean? It's the hands, it's the tongue that causes us to speak ill things. So outside of the body, we don't sin anymore. So we got to control that body. We got to make that the temple of the Most High.
Cool. Appreciate that.
What I did, I had a little pull-up bar at the kitchen, because I used to love hanging out in the kitchen. I told you about my eldest. So I had a pull-up bar, and I would do a max set of pull-ups on the way in the kitchen and on the way out the kitchen. And I always put max effort into what I'm doing. So by the time you finish putting max effort into something, you don't even feel like eating. Once you feel that burn, once your stomach start, get to hurting, you can't breathe, you don't want to eat nothing. Get some water and keep it moving.
Right.
And I know how you feel, Bubba. Stop me where I'm lying at, right? After you eat it, you be like, damn, man, why did I eat that? I said I wasn't going to do that anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how you feel.
Yep.
I know, because I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. Then you feel bad. Then you want to go and work out. Then you want to hurry up and get it out of your body. So you try and drink a lot of water and flush it out. Don't do it. A wise person once told me, just don't put it to your mouth. Just don't put the food to your mouth. It sounds very simple, right? Very practical, but it's very true. There's a lot of wisdom in that. Just don't put it to your mouth. It's really that easy.
Yep.
Some things are so simplistic that, hey, man, we overlook the wisdom in it. I'm like, damn, that's right. Just don't put it to my mouth. I'm not going to eat. Because if you don't put it to your mouth, you can't eat it.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And so with that, I guess we could bring this to an end, man. We've been on here for a minute. Thank everyone for tuning in. Hopefully everyone will have a happy Shabbat. But yeah, tomorrow we need to try and schedule a call, man, discuss some things. Fuck going on YouTube.
Con.
God.
Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, shalom, shalom,
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
shalom, shalom.